We're good.
All right. Moving over to the comments area so I can see those if they pop up.
Oh, yes, that's smart. Nobody's tuned in yet, but we're definitely not talking about anything political right now, which is...
No, why would we do that?
Although, honestly, I kind of like the deep dive into LBJ. Somebody did just join us, and Karyn and I were just talking about Lyndon Johnson.
Because Texas.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you, here's my secret, Karyn. So I am kind of like a wallflower, and I never feel like I fit in anywhere. And every time I've been to an event that you've been at, like any of the folk music conferences or whatever, I've seen you in the distance, and I just look, I'm like, I want to hang out with her. She looks like so cool and so fun and friendly.
Aww.
And so doing this tonight is just very exciting for me. Hi, Janice
Yay.
Brill.
Oh, hi, Janice.
And so anyway, this is just a big moment for me because in my mind, you're one of the cool kids.
Wow. I have never been one of the cool I definitely grew up not being one of the cool kids. You know, I was a theater nerd.
Yes. Yes, not. It's such a funny thing. Like I before we went to Nerf, and my husband's the same way. Like we are just, and up until recently, we've kind of been okay with quarantining because we're kind of secluded anyway. But we're like, okay, we're going to a folk music conference. We'll certainly fit in with somebody here. Like, nope. Stop.
These are my people.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, I'm just so happy. This is my virtual world tour. I do this every Monday night, and I've been anxiously awaiting this Monday night because we had planned, we were going to do a show this year. And, you know, we were thwarted. So,
Yep.
this maybe not quite
As
the same
was everyone else. I mean, it wasn't just about us, although it felt like it.
You know, our show was the big thing of the year.
I know.
So I get to hear you sing now. Hi, Chris. All right, I'm going to throw her in Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth. I'm going to throw it to Karyn.
Okay. Let me just adjust slightly here. Playing with headphones is always a little bit different. There, I think that's all right. I have a name for girls like me. Oh, 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 oh. Always there to wash your feet. Oh, 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 oh. I will always be your martyr. bluff? Were you strong enough? Where'd you learn to walk on water? Can't even swim, still I dive right If I'd have known how this would go, oh, 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 I'd have quit you long ago. Oh, oh, oh,
Girl, your voice. Can I be quoted on your website as just saying your voice? Whew, I'm gonna take a little break because I don't want to immediately follow. That was beautiful. Loved it. And our friend Brian McCloskey says hello, and he has to leave at 8 sharp. So I agree.
We'll
Cecilia.
remind
And Jeff
you,
Lowe,
Brian.
hello. So I confess that I'm a little bit ignorant. You mentioned earlier that you have a theater background.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to college for music?
Yes, the first time around, and then I did not finish. And then the second time I went to college, I got a degree in wildlife management.
Oh, that's really interesting. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Hence
Yeah,
the
well-
creature on the microphone.
Yeah, I don't think we studied bow truckles in wildlife management. That would have been way more fun.
Right?
Magical Creatures 101.
And so, did you study voice the first time around?
I did. I studied voice, and I studied acting, and I studied music theory and all kinds of, the first time around. And I had done a lot of it through high school. And then, spent, a couple of years in school doing that. And then decided that, that track of music wasn't for me. So I stopped school and I just did bands and stuff like that for a while. And, but being a woman in rock and roll is extremely disheartening on a regular basis. And after, the fourth band breaks up because the drummer wants to sleep with you, you just decide to do something else for a while.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel all that. I get it. But your voice, it just sounds so effortless and lovely and like you're singing Velvet. And
Well, thank you.
I loved your voice. Yeah, it's funny about bands. I always tell people that it's kind of like having a multi-person marriage, and it's just like not truly destined for success, at least for me.
Well, there are plenty of examples of success, but I think a lot of it, either you all have the same expectation. I think a lot of it is you all have the same expectation going in.
Yes.
That makes a huge difference. And then either your expectation is low and you all just play together for 30 years and have fun and it's no big deal, or you have an expectation of getting rich and famous and you do, and you can sustain that and become the Rolling Stones. It's
Yes.
like the two extreme examples, and everybody in the middle breaks up.
Uh-huh. I really like that's very succinct, and yes, that's what it is. But isn't it? It's communication, right? I guess that was the downfall of all of my bands, is having clear expectations in the beginning, much like any relationship one would have. So I'm going to the studio tomorrow. I'm working on a new album, as many of us are. I'm going to do a song that I'm going to record tomorrow, and it's called Window Watching. My producer thought I said window washing, so he keeps emailing me about the song Window Washing. I'm like, no. I'm not washing any
Careful
windows.
on the enunciation on that one. That could be confusing.
Watching. So this was written from a prompt. If you've been watching my Monday nights, I've played this one a few times But the prompt for this one was through the window, and it got me thinking about how we're all, more so this year than any other year, just kind of looking through this window of the internet on other people's lives. But still, we're only seeing what people are choosing to show us, and it can be really easy to look at somebody else's carefully curated posts and think, wow, they've got, what a wonderful life, and start to feel a little bit less than. But just remember, these are curated things. It's what people want you to see, and you don't really know what's going on. She's so goddamn pretty, I think it hurts sometimes. I think she wakes up early waiting for the sun to shine. Never anything out of place, she walks a very fine line. And no one notices the way tears make her cheeks shine. Window watching, what do you see? Everybody's got it better than me. Window watching, sometimes you creep, but everybody's got something they don't want you to see. They've got it all together, their kids, their jobs, their house, the dog. And in the photographs, I don't think there's a cloud at all. He works out every night with someone who's not his wife. He doesn't think she notices, but everything's out in the light. Window watching, what do you see? Everybody's got it better than me. Window watching, sometimes you creep, but everybody's got something they don't want you to see. I paint my life what I want it to be, 'cause everybody's watching me. Curate a life what I want it to be, but everybody's always watching. What do you want them to see? She almost made a move, but everybody said to stick it out. Like they know his cold embrace and the love she does without. Window watching, what do you see? Everybody's got it better than me. Window watching, sometimes you creep, but everybody's always watching. What do you want them to see?
Yay!
Thank you.
Great song.
Thank Thank you. I just realized my big struggle. Karyn and I were talking earlier about how it's like not ideal to sing and have to listen to yourself in the headphones, and so my solution has been this thing, but it's not flattering, and I need a better system.
I know. I mean, I've considered, should I just use earbuds instead of but you don't hear nearly as well, and I don't know.
That's true.
And
then there's the whole
something's gotta
camera.
give for something else.
The camera angle is important too, because I've found that you want it to come down.
Yes.
That's the most and I need help. What I'm asking for is help. Like, how do I make this better?
But yes, it is better if the camera is slightly above you. Eye level is okay. Below you is bad.
That's what I got.
Below you is not good. That's that Zoom meeting where people are like, so, what do you...
Oh, my goodness. So have you ever been in a songwriting group where you have to write a song every week?
To a small extent, yes. I've not done a lot of them, but I have done some. And I've done some, actually, where it's a week of one every day.
Oh.
That one's intense.
I bet.
Better not be going anywhere, And I have an annual contest that I usually participate in, where you have a month to write just one song. But it is on a deadline. It's just not a weekly deadline. But I don't often do the once a week. I haven't been I know they exist, and I've been like, now would be the time to do it, frankly, because I'm actually home for an extended period of time, It's probably my fault this is still going on. As soon as I join one of those songwriting groups, this whole thing will end and I'll be on the road again. So everybody, you can blame me.
Get to it. We were talking earlier about how I've just never fit in with anybody, and this pandemic has been the first time I've been in a club of any sort, and it's a songwriting group. And you have, if you don't write the song, you get kicked out. And I'm just, desperate to not be kicked out of this first club of mine.
I've heard about those. I know. You might get one pass 1 week, and then, if you miss it again, you're gone.
Yes.
Because people are waiting in line to get into the group.
Exactly, yeah. And so sometimes I'm just I'll just write the shittiest song ever because, I just don't want to get kicked out. Please don't. All my songwriting ego has had to go out the window.
Wow. Yeah, It's like those kids who used to be on grants when I was in college who would not drop classes they knew they were going to fail because it was okay to fail the class. It was just not okay to not carry that level of course load. And it was
That's kind of lame.
Yeah, it was weird, There's no money on the line with yours, so it's not as big a deal. But I always remember thinking, that's really bizarre. Why don't they just, let you take what you can handle and require a GPA?
Yeah, that would make more sense, just to carry a certain GPA. Yeah. The scholarships I had, that's what it was. You just had to... It's wacky. I want to hear more Karyn Oliver.
Oh, okay. I'll get her. say they've given you no voice. Life is hard without a choice. Treated no better than their toys. Green glasses, faded face, pieces held with old shoelace. Hail Mary's full of grace. Sometimes you cry, sometimes you sing. Tears of crowns, ruby rings. Patron saint of broken things. Green glasses, faded face, paces held with old shoelace. Hail Mary's full of grace. Sometimes you cry, sometimes you sing. Tales of crowns, ruby rings. Patron saint of broken things. Oh, Edwina. Oh, Edwina. Ooh. Oh, Edwina.
Beautiful. Can you tell me more about that song?
Sure. That song, that song is actually really an allegory. Edwina is not human. Edwina is a doll. And so Edwina is sort of a representation of all the things little girls believe they can do before somebody tells them otherwise. And so in the beginning, of course, you know, she's riding off into the sunset. She's queen, she's Annie Oakley, she's everything. And then it gets a little smaller as time goes on because somebody says, oh, no, you can't. Girls can't do that.
I love it. And I never thought that I experienced any marginalization in my life. Like, I never thought that I experienced any sort of sexual harassment or anything like that until my dad was sick and I was his like representative, and I was talking. My husband and I were in the room, and I wanted to talk to the doctor, and I knew there wasn't anything we could do, but I needed to know that I had done everything. And the doctor, my husband and I are sitting in chairs, and he walked into the room, and he stood up, and he was looking down at me the whole time. And I said, can we just try such and such? And he looked at my husband, and he goes, and then wouldn't look at me for the entire rest of this meeting. And then I just, you know, that kind of snowballed into me realizing all these tiny little things throughout my life that I had experienced. And, you know, it's so like, although I never
and kind of vicious.
Yeah, and like we get used to it in a way. So, and it can be easy to disregard because you get used to it. And on the rare occasion when you complain about it, you're told that you're overreacting and you're being ridiculous. And so you get conditioned to not react. Right. And to think, oh, well, you know, I just have to like let that go. I'm being oversensitive. You tell yourself that for ages until you reach a certain age where you're just like, oh, to hell with this. And I think, like, I don't even know, there's a song in here somewhere, this little anecdote, but tied into that, I had been going to this gym for a while, and I'm friendly, and I would just kind of like wave at the people that I would see every day, even though I didn't know them. And there was this older couple, and one day I was walking out of the gym, and I waved at them casually as I was leaving, and then I went out to my car, and I was sitting in the parking lot in my car with the door ajar, and I looked over, and I'm looking over here, and when I looked up next, the man was in between the door of my car and me, and I was shocked, and he leaned in, and he bit my neck, and then walked back into the gym. And I sat there, Karyn, like, I just sat there. And then in my head, I'm like, did I just make that up? Am I overreacting? Do I let this, like, do you know what I mean? And I was like, I was so ready to just be like, oh, it was me.
Right. And as if somehow it was your fault someone leaned into your car and bit you. Yeah. because that's what we do. But yeah, like, no, you were assaulted and that's wrong.
So it just, and I let it go, and so, you know, looking back through all these things, and then to bring it full circle, I had this chance to try to write a song for a horror movie. And so, and the...
So you put him in there, didn't you?
Kind of.
Never mess with a songwriter.
It's so true. And maybe think twice before you date one, I guess. But
Oh, yeah.
So
Even better if you knew his name.
I know. I call this guy Chef Boyardee because he looks like Chef Boyardee. So the movie was, you know, this animal was attacking the high school, and you realize in the end that the most innocent, quiet girl was actually controlling this beast the whole time. And so that's what I started writing the song about, and then when it was over I realized, oh, this is about maybe standing up for myself if someone bites me in my car in a parking lot. So,
Good lesson to learn. Very good lesson to learn. Yeah. Because how does anybody think that they have the right to do something like that? That's ridiculous.
right, and who would even think it would happen? That's what
And the thing
stunned
is,
me.
If you were sitting next to your friend in the car and someone did that to her, you'd probably get out and punch him in the nose.
Absolutely.
But because it happened to you, suddenly you want to invalidate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I'm gonna sing my angry song.
Okay.
Oh man. I've had a hard time in my life convincing people that I carry the emotion of anger, and I do. I can in fact be angry. That's exactly right, Janice. You have got to watch out for the quiet ones. He can't see it with his eyes, and he doesn't realize when I whisper in his ear will take his breath away as he feels his power wane and he makes a final play. He finally knows I'm not a sight for sore eyes. How long until the beast she starts to growl? How long until the beast she starts to growl? As he looks with longing now, and he starts to wonder how did I hide in the daylight? Sharper teeth have never come from a man holding a gun. So sit and stay, won't you play? How long until the beast she starts to growl? How long until the beast she starts to growl? Oh, look at me standing here. I see in your eyes the fear was under lock and key. You handed it all back to me. So look into the eyes. Look into my eyes. Look into the eyes of the beast you can't tame. How long until the beast she starts to growl? How long until the beast she starts to growl?
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's always the quiet
It's
ones.
so true. You've got to be careful with them. The funny thing,
That and songwriters in general.
yes. Well, so when I was a kid and I first started singing, my dad always, people, if anyone bullied me or whatever, he'd say, you got the microphone. Never forget you got the microphone. And it's true. I mean, we've got a special power.
That is true. Volume is my special power. No.
Speaking of which, I think the first time that I ever saw you perform was at Surfa, because you were a showcase artist as well, right? You played right after I did?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
But I just remember watching you thinking, my God, that woman is epic. Everything, though, it was awesome. Do you remember which songs you played?
No.
No, okay. Well,
I would. No, I've actually, because I think I've done that one twice too, so I would also be confused about which
year it was.
which year it was, and yeah, so.
Well, my takeaway was that you were amazing, and I was glad that you went after me.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I
man.
do remember that one year. I know that I definitely played a song called "Water," because that was the year that John Vesner heard me sound checking in and asked if he could play with me.
Oh.
And so he actually played and sang with it. So that's the only way I really distinguish between the Surfer showcases. is there was the John Vesner year and then the non-John Vesner year, but I don't remember what years they were.
I'm with you. Most things in my head are a blur lately. Anyway. I have a toddler, and I'm just like,
I know. How old is he now?
He will be 2 in January.
Wow. I know, because when I met him, he was brand new.
Yes, and on the road. That
I
boy's been
know.
around.
I know. You brought him to Swerfa, and I was like, wow, that's a brave woman.
He went to Surfa, he went to Swerfa, he went to the Dripping Spring Songwriters Festival, and my husband did not come on that one. And
I hope somebody else did, because Lord.
my mom came with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not
it's-
getting any sleep as it is. And then, you do actually have to perform. And I have seen people perform with the baby on the back.
Yeah, well,
But you better pray it stays quiet the whole time.
so he was bitty when we went to Swerfa. He was tiny, and I showcased there late. And I remember he was kind of colicky, so I was the only one who could calm him by nursing him. And so my poor husband is trying to keep this screaming baby quiet and hold it all together. And it was.
Oh my, yeah.
If I had it to do over, I maybe would have adjusted the plan.
Live and learn.
It's true.
Yeah.
So
But,
Brian
I remember
McCloskey
Karyn Mall used to play mandolin
with the
Karyn.
child on her back.
Yeah, when she was a baby, infant. Yeah, she'd be on stage and have an infant on her back.
Oh man, I could have been so much cooler.
It was pretty impressive. I was like, wow, that is one very quiet baby.
That is something my
It's
son
just really risky.
is not.
Yeah.
It is, and I had all these visions too, Karyn, of what it was going to be like. We were going to garden together, and he would have his watering can, and we would water the flowers together. And what he did instead was run off while I'm in my bathrobe chasing after him down the street, instead of gardening with me. But he probably will make a little cameo. He usually pops in at the end of these. My husband would like to reiterate that he is a saint. And Brian McCloskey says that Water is a killer song.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Is it on your list for tonight? No pressure if it isn't.
It can be. That's certainly.
I'm intrigued now.
But it's not what I had planned right now.
No pressure. You play whatever you had planned.
Yep. So, this is a song I wrote while touring in Texas before I actually lived here. The song was inspired by a town that had a fertilizer plant right on the edge of it. And in the middle of the night one night, that fertilizer plant exploded. And I used to stop there back in the days when I was touring. I would stop in Little West, Texas on every tour pretty much and get kolaches because it's the best place in the world to get kolaches. And it's a little town called West Texas. West Texas is not in West Texas, it's just called West Texas. I never did figure that one out. tell me what lies over there. Now beyond the bridge where no one goes, I see houses behind fences, behind signs that say beware. I was a town, I was a town, I was a town. Mr. Gordon says his mom lived over there, told him things that no one wants to know. There was a factory, schools and churches, state's biggest county fair. I was a town, 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 I was a town. She was there, the air was thick with things she can't pronounce. She saw fire, so much fire, and it's all buried in the ground. Late at night, if I dare to go over there, just beyond the bridge where no one goes, I hear voices, whispers, echoes in the air. I was a town, 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 I was a
Wow. Are any of the songs that you've played tonight available on streaming services?
Yes, so far, just all of them so far. There will be some
Awesome.
that won't be, because there will be some
So-
that are going to be on the next album, but so far, yes.
So far, yes. Okay. So I have a virtual world tour Spotify playlist. I've been just trying to figure out, like, how do we get traction on that thing to earn our pennies, you know? So we'll add all those
Fractions of
songs later.
pennies.
Yes. Have you received a 3-cent check yet? Because I did.
No, I never got. I mean, I think because most of my stuff until very recently has gone all through Host Baby, and so they just until you get to like a certain amount, they don't give you any money. So it takes a long time, and then you get a little bit more than that. But no 3-cent checks. And
Yeah, I don't
direct
even
deposit.
understand. It's like not even from my pro. It's like some other service is sending me these petty checks. And so the first one I got was 3 cents, and I thought it was funny, so I had it just as like to show people because it was funny.
Well, yeah, frame that puppy.
Yeah, but then I got a few more, so now I had this pile which equaled like 25 cents. And so I thought next time I went to the bank, I thought, what the hell, I'll just put it in the bank. Except I had held on to that first one so long that
It expired.
It expired, and then they charged me an overdraft fee for my 3 cents, and then I had to get on with customer service. Like,
wow.
I know. They gave me the money back, but still.
Thank God. Because, yeah, your quarter cost you $30.
All that to say, folks, please follow the Virtual World Tour Spotify playlist. Not so much for the pennies, but because there's so many cool songwriters that I've played with every Monday, and they're amazing, and songs that you will fall in love with, and so check it out.
Absolutely. And then when you find the songs that you fall in love with, go to the artist's website and actually buy the music.
Yes. Exactly.
Because that's a little bit more than pennies, and that helps to pay the rent.
Pennies. But they're satisfying pennies. I always say it's the most satisfying penny you're ever going to get. Even,
Yeah, if it was even at least a penny or two every time somebody streamed you, it wouldn't be so insulting. But it's like a tenth of a penny.
Yes. It's a little slap in the face.
Yeah. A tenth of a penny. This is what you think my song is worth.
I'm not good at math, but...
I'm guessing you're getting more than a tenth of a penny out of every spin.
Did you hear that thing where the CEO of Spotify suggested that artists just need to put out more music, and that's our problem?
Yeah.
It's
all
funny.
about volume, people.
So funny. Anyway, speaking of that, I'm going to play a song that might be terrible because it's brand new and no one has heard it yet. But I'm going to let it stretch its legs a little bit. It might be. It absolutely might be. But I want to give it a whirl. So I have a new thing I'm doing for the holidays is custom songs. So kind of a cool gift.
Fun.
You just hire me and I will write a song for somebody. And so this is an example of something like that. This was written for somebody who had a strained relationship with their sister. And, I just got thinking, that's a really important relationship to have. Our sibling relationships are some of the most important. And to have one that kind of knocks you down from the get-go, it can be hard to get out of that. So that's the thought behind this song. If it's terrible, just be kind. No pressure. But this is called Sister. When we were figuring out just who we wanted to be, I used to wonder, do you like me? Matched every movement you made, matched every book that you read, and wondered, do you like me? From the hand that I needed, reminders of how I'm defeated still keep me down, and you still wear the crown, sister. When every boy thought that you were the one that they need, I used to wonder, could they like me? 2 sizes too big and too good underneath. You cut me down to let me know. From the hand that I needed, reminders of how I'm defeated still keep me down, and you still wear
That was not
Oh.
terrible at all. That was actually
Thank
wonderful.
you.
No, I like that. That's a
Thank you.
rocking song. We'll have a private conversation about that at some other point. But
It's funny though, isn't it? Like in a usual year, we'd be able to like test songs out on audiences to gauge it, and that might be one of the things that I'm having the hardest time with.
yeah, well, or at least a trusted group of songwriters in a circle,
Yes.
which you can still do online. It's not quite the same because when there are multiple people trying to comment in a song circle situation, that can get to be unmanageable in a Zoom meeting. So,
And is that how song circles work? Because I've never been to a song circle.
it depends on what the song circle's purpose is. I mean, some song circles are just about playing. Like the ones at Kerrville where nobody's critiquing, you're just going around in a circle. But a song circle critique session, yes, you come, you bring multiple copies of your lyric sheets, you pass it out in a circle, and then there are ground rules for the commenting. There have to be ground rules for the commenting.
That sounds really stressful, but like check your ego at the door type of thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's incredibly useful. I mean, when I lived in Baltimore, I did it every Monday for years through the Baltimore Songwriters Association. Partly because it was really, in the beginning, because I really enjoyed it and I really wanted to do it. And then they made me president and I had to show up. So I still enjoyed it. I'm just kidding. But it was very, very useful. And I learned a lot about giving feedback and getting feedback. It's actually a learned skill on both ends of it.
Oh, absolutely. And like, I would imagine trying to kind of buffer a critique with a positive.
Well, and the BSA in particular, Baltimore Songwriters Association, that was rule number 1, is that you actually had to start with something positive. That's not a rule in everybody's song circle. Some of them are a whole lot more, but this one was a little more warm and fuzzy than most.
That sounds like the one for me.
But it was a nice idea, and my rule used to be basically don't tear somebody's song down if you don't have an avenue for them to take.
I like that rule.
If you can't give them a suggestion on what you think might work or how to approach it, then don't say anything at all. It's not, it's not helpful to just tell somebody what you don't like.
Right, and then because they're not going to even hear that, right? All they're going to hear is, oh, they didn't like it.
Right. And it's just not useful information. I didn't like that. It's not useful information. It's kind of like, could you be a little more specific?
Oh my goodness.
You didn't like it because you just don't like this genre? Because I'm not going to listen to that.
Totally unrelated. I have 3 stepdaughters, and the middle one, she's such a sweetheart. And she's 17, but her, like, if she doesn't care for something, her critique would be, it's not my favorite. I think that's...
That's sweet for that song.
Yes. I love it. Oh, my goodness. Brian McCloskey is so sweet. Isn't Brian McCloskey wonderful?
He is absolutely one of my favorite people, which is why I'm going to play this song now, because I know he has to leave soon.
Yes, okay.
So I know this is your reminder, Brian. This will be the last of mine that you probably hear. And thank you for being here. Dust blew in on your hot, high wind, settled here on my skin. Search the horizon for one lone tree, sit in the shade, so still in the shade. I remember evening swims, laughter and long tangled limbs. Now you just stare at the broken streams, and I pray for rain, just pray. There's no predicting when you'll return. Drench the ground, just drench the ground. Give me water, water, give me water, 'cause I'm dry, I'm dry, I'm dry, 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 oh, I'm dry, I'm dry.
Badass tune. Or as Brian says, killer song. That I love that. I think that I did hear you sing that. And it just filled me with I wish that I could sing like that.
Of course you can.
Oh, girl. I loved it. What is the backstory on that song?
Well, that song, I started that song at the Kerrville Folk Festival when I was taking a workshop with Terry Hendricks, and she tried to make us all co-write. And so she sat me in a corner with two people I'd never met before, and she said, "Your prompt is heat, and you have 5 minutes." And she walked away. That was her extent of her teaching. It was amazing. So one guy threw out a line, and I started with that line, and the other guy stared at his shoes for the 5 minutes and panicked. Absolute panic. Poor guy. I felt so bad for him. So he didn't participate at all. And the other guy gave me one line, and I ended up changing it so it's no longer a co-write. Because that one line isn't in there anymore. And I had it like half, 3/4 of the way done there. And about 6 months later, I was driving back to Texas and I finished the song. And the thing is, Texas was in the middle of a really, really bad drought. And that year at Kerrville, there were wildfires everywhere. People were losing their voices because of all the stuff that was blowing over in the dusty air. Everybody was wearing masks, except they weren't. They were wearing their bandanas over their faces. And so the song is really a song about the relationship between the earth and the climate. As if they're a couple with a very dysfunctional relationship.
I love that. That's kind of genius. I want to write with you. I'll probably just stare at my feet the whole time.
I have weird ideas when it comes to
No, I love that. I think in another life, I would be an environmental worker of some sort. When I was a little kid, I thought it was fun to walk through the woods and pick up trash. Like, that was my fun activity. My little trash bag.
I can totally understand that. Yeah.
It's satisfying. But no, I love that song, and that is available.
Yes.
To stream. Okay.
Yes.
My husband likes attention, and he was out of the shot for this, but I was listening to you, and he was over here trying to do wacky things, but he was doing that because he wants recognition that he just brought me a martini.
Ooh.
So
well, that deserves recognition. I gotta say, I'm here all on my own for now. I don't know what time my husband's getting home, which is why I shut the door, because A, the cat was getting a little rambunctious, and B, if he comes in through the front door and that's open, you're going to hear it. So,
hey, life happens. I'm surprised we aren't hearing children running around upstairs here.
Herds of small elephants. That's what we call it when the cats are playing overhead.
How many cats do you have?
Just 2, but they sound like a lot more.
I'm a total cat person. I love cats. I could do a whole deep dive on cats now. Cats, look it. This is the last thing I'll say about cats. My cat metronome.
That's really cute.
Such a dork.
Oh my God. See, I can't get anything like that because you have one themed item and people think, oh, she collects those. And suddenly you've got 50 cat-themed things that you never actually want. Yeah.
So it's so funny you say that, because that happened to my mom. She had purchased an elephant item, and then everyone just started giving her elephants. So growing up, we had all these display cases of all the elephants, right? But then we lost our house when I was like 20-something. And so my mom was just getting rid of everything, and I got the elephant collection. Like, what the hell do I do with a room full of elephants? I don't know.
And your mother's probably like, and you know what? I don't even really like elephants all that much.
It's not like a passion of hers, the elephant. I don't. Oh, my goodness. Janice Brill just come. Oh, chickens.
Oh, yeah. We got chickens. That's true. And that is the thing. Yeah, thanks to Janice. Actually, she's given me more chickens than anybody.
Oh, you collect chickens, Karyn?
Well, no. Don't tell people I collect chickens.
What's your address?
Yeah. But I do have these really awesome things that Janice gave me. These are
Rubber chicken thingies?
rubber chickens that are actually little slingshots.
That's so fun.
Because I have this rubber chicken that I use occasionally, usually only during a no-fuss show. There's a couple of moments where, you know, especially if I haven't done it in a while and we have a no-fuss and feathers show and Catherine has sort of forgotten about the rubber chicken and I can hide it somewhere on stage. I pull it out at an inopportune moment just to try to make her laugh her ass off and fall down.
I love that. I wish someone would do that for me.
See, there are advantages to being in a band.
I was just thinking, like, that sounds like a really functional band relationship.
Well, yeah. I'm only in it for the practical jokes.
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason my husband married me, was for the practical jokes. He proposed to me with an Eaton ring pop.
Like he took a bite out of it and went.
Like one of his children had eaten a ring pop and he found it, and like that was his first attempt. I told him no and try again.
Sorry, no, this one's not gonna do it.
Oh, all that to say that he's really great, and oh, bye, Brian. Thanks for being here.
Bye, Brian.
Oh yeah, so I wrote this song for my husband because he was married before. To be careful how I phrase this. Well, he was just married before, and then he's not married to her anymore. I guess that's all I need to say. And I wrote a song about that. And we got somebody's watching in the Netherlands. Good morning in the Netherlands. Can you, do you see that?
Yes.
And Kathy thinks we're funny.
It's good that somebody does.
Hi, Cecily. All right, so this is a song called Woman Like That. And I wrote this about my husband. Well, I don't need to say anymore. Put my foot in my mouth if I do. She never could put anyone but her first. She took your last dime, she took your old shirt. Standing there with nothing left but your pride. She did you dirty, but you didn't run and hide. You only ever hear how beautiful it is, starting your life, raising your kids. Nothing ever said about how broken you feel when you learn it's not real. Mama said don't ever live with regret. And what did you ever see in a woman like that? She never could see past the end of her own nose. Found someone better and said that's the way that life goes. One foot out the door, she's got one foot on a cliff. She like that. Oh, if life with love's better, what do they know? Expect a ragged old sweater to keep out the cold. If life with love's better, what do they know? What if you knew better? Would you let her go? She never could put anyone but her first. Sometimes you miss her, and that's what hurts the worst. Will we ever hear how beautiful it is starting your life and raising your kids? Nothing ever said about how broken you feel when you learn it's not real. Mama said don't ever live with regret. Mama said don't ever live with regret. And would you ever see in a woman like that?
Nice.
We're not friends.
Yeah, you didn't need to say anything about that song. You could have just, yeah. You're really, yeah, she's not like your bestie now?
Nope. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's such a funny thing, like knowing how to introduce songs and when you need to say something and when you don't. My brother always told me when I was a kid that if I've written a good song, then I don't need to say anything.
I think it should be unnecessary to have to say anything. I think when you're playing for an audience that knows you and knows your material, they appreciate a little bit of backstory, which is also why it's also good to change it and give them something else.
Right.
You know, and not just tell the same exact story every time. Because, you know, I used to not talk hardly at all because I thought it's about the songs. Why am I talking? But a lot of people were like, yeah, but we want to know about the songs. When you're doing it live, it's different. But, you know, somebody's going to pick up your CD or download your music and they're going to listen to it without you telling them what it's about. And so that's when it really, really matters how you wrote it.
Yeah.
Because then you can't explain it. And so I do think they should stand on their own like that. But they also don't have to know what you were thinking when you wrote it.
It's true because that, you know, it can apply to other people in a different way. And I always think about how I, as a consumer of music, like to watch a show. See, I'm really interested in, maybe it's probably because I'm a songwriter too, but I really want to know what the artist has to say. And anytime I've ever been to a huge concert, I get so frustrated when the audience is wooing because I'm like, no, I'd like to hear the dialogue, please. It's like we went to see Coldplay and I just couldn't stand it anymore because I couldn't hear anything.
Right. He's talking!
Shush!
Yeah, you can't shush a stadium.
No. I'd like to. Do like what teachers do, like do my peace sign thing. Okay, everybody, it's quiet.
I know. Those shows are very frustrating after you've done this kind of thing for a long time, because you're used to that intimacy and you want it from the artists you see, and it's very hard to get. I did actually, the only stadium show I ever went to where I really did feel like it was still an intimate show was Leonard Cohen. I saw him at Madison Square Garden, and it's still, because people let him talk, because it's not the same kind of crowd, you know?
Right.
And so in between the songs, there wasn't any hootering and hollering. It's Leonard Cohen. You know, so that was a beautiful thing. The frustrating thing about seeing Leonard Cohen at Madison Square Garden was he played 3, 4, 5 songs after he played Hallelujah to almost half the audience that was there before he played. He played Hallelujah, and people were like, "We're done. Bye."
That's all we came for.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah.
What
I
is
was
this
so
song?
angry.
I'm such an ignorant songwriter, and please forgive me if I've got him mixed up with somebody else. But is he the one who wrote the song that's like a letter from a prostitute or something? Like my husband might chime in.
You'd have to tell me which song that is, but
we'll come back to it because it was a
Okay.
really, you don't know. In the beginning, you think it's this lovely letter between two people, and at the end, you're like, oh, that took a dark turn. And I wanted to mention Cecily. Thank you so much, Cecily. And I pronounced your name correct, and I'm really relieved that I did because that's my biggest fear.
I think actually no, because I think that's actually kind of so long, so not yet. My Dutch is very, very limited.
You speak
Very.
Dutch?
No. My mother was born in the Netherlands, so I could have, but she did not teach us. But I've toured there several times, and I have a lot of friends there. So I've picked up words. I can read a menu. And because I grew up with an oma and an opa, I have the I can
yep.
totally pronounce the stuff because I grew up knowing that sound. A lot of Americans, they don't have any guttural sounds when they're really small, and so they can't do that thing.
Yeah.
I can't do the French R. It comes out sounding like a
The rolling R?
yeah.
Or like je parle français un peu.
Because
that
it's
thing?
not, because it's further back. I can roll my tongue at the front like the Spanish R.
Oh, you're so lucky. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, but I can't do the one further back that my husband does.
Does he speak French?
He is French.
Je peux parler français juste un peu. Je voudrais parler avec lui. Total dork, I know. But so Cecily says that we're better than listening to Taylor Swift, and so thank you.
Oh, well, hey. And Taylor's gotten a lot, but I did not I have to be, total confession, I was not a big fan years ago. The recent album has some weight to it, actually, finally,
Yes.
So I'm a much bigger fan. I'm still not convinced about her as a performer, because every time I've ever seen her try to pull it off live, it's been a bit of a train wreck.
Vocally?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I still think what we're hearing is a lot of studio fix. But I could be
100%.
wrong. Maybe she's gotten some training and I would be happy to, I would celebrate that.
I'm sure there's a lot of studio fix, but I agree with you on the newest album. I really like it, and I really like the production. That's what I've been listening to try to inspire my new one.
Yeah, well, I think because she was stuck at home and wasn't going into her usual studio, she farmed out to a whole bunch of really good people that she knows, because she knows a lot of really good people, and got a lot of different stuff in the production than she would have normally gotten.
Yes, that's true.
And
Cecily
it
said
shows.
she's talking about when she was hating on her exes.
She's doing that less on this last album, but still a little bit.
Yes, but when Taylor hates on an ex, it is epic. That she does that better than
Don't
anybody.
mess with a songwriter.
It's
man.
so true. So Cecily, just curious what is your favorite T Swift song? Well, we can chat after because I have my favorite.
I don't have a favorite. I've only just kind of heard the new album a little bit, so I will have to delve into it more before I can have an opinion on that myself.
I have another thought about it, but after your next song, I'll mention.
So I'm going to play, this is pretty much the newest one. There are a few other songs that are actually maybe even newer than this one, but they're not really done. They're not ready for prime time yet. So, I'm part of this little collective of songwriters in New York called Chicks with Dip. You have to pronounce that very carefully. And we have Zoom meetings about every week, but not everybody shows up every week. And a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, the state of things here in the United States, and about how 4 years ago, when people were disappointed about the election, other people weren't very nice about it. And how tempting it would be to behave the same way now to other people who aren't very happy about it. And how we need to make sure we don't actually do that, even though it may be tempting. And so that's kind of where the song came from. It's a little more general than that in its scope, but that was what I was thinking about.
I was harmonizing.
Yay!
You did that with tea the other day on your
Oh.
page, didn't you?
Possibly, yes. I have tea all the time.
Was it-
so-
I was telling Karyn earlier, I taught voice lessons for a long time, and I'd always tell my students, coffee is not really good for your voice and other acidic things, but like I would have 4 cups of coffee strewn about my room. And so whenever anyone's drinking tea, I feel guilty, like as a vocalist, I should go with tea.
You shouldn't feel guilty because, quite frankly, tea is pretty damned acidic, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're drinking that herbal stuff and being
And what's even the point?
The tea snob that I am, my response to being offered herbal tea is, that's very nice, but it's not tea.
Right.
That is an infusion.
Like that.
It's not tea. There are no tea leaves in there. It's not tea.
I like that. I'm going to start referring to it as an infusion. People are going to think
So
I'm
snotty.
fancy. My favorite tea is ginger peach.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I'm very traditional about my tea. Ginger peach would be something I drink iced in the summertime, maybe, but
Also good that way.
Yeah, but I'm an Earl Grey, Darjeeling Irish breakfast.
Tea.
Yeah, tea. And when it's cold in the afternoon, I'll have a nice cup of chai.
That's what you had the other morning. Was
Oh,
it like
yeah.
a vanilla chai or?
Chocolate chai.
That's what it
I
was.
had chocolate chai tea. It was pretty awesome. It's
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah, Harney and Sons makes this lovely chocolate chai.
I should
I'm
probably
waiting for
try
them
that.
to make it in decaf, though, so I can drink it in the evening.
It's so funny because I hadn't thought about chai being caffeinated, but
It's tea.
yeah.
Well, in this in particular, it's not that chai that's like all mixed up with all the sugar and stuff. It's really just a tea that's
See,
flavored
that's what in
with
my mind it's a,
cardamom and
Okay.
it's chocolate flavored tea. They literally infuse the tea with chocolate, and then it's got cardamom and all the spices in it. And
I
then
feel like it's speaking to me, and that maybe I'm gonna have to try some.
you should totally try it. It's incredibly decadent tasting, and it's wonderful. And I healthy it all up by just using stevia and unsweetened cashew milk. So,
Cecily's saying green tea is what they use in China for birthdays.
oh,
I do like green tea.
I like green tea, but I tend not to have it around the house because it doesn't keep as long as the black, and I don't drink it very often, so it ends up.
You're
just
teaching
going,
me a lot about tea. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
Green
do you
tea
mean that-
should be consumed relatively quickly? Buy it in small quantities.
Okay, so that's good to know because I have a collection of tea that I feel like I've been collecting since college, and I just maybe
Yeah,
I'll get rid of the
I think
old
all
ones.
that tea's probably no good anymore.
So my 10-year-old Lipton can go.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. That's so funny.
You laugh, but it's funny because when as a touring artist, you the only way to make ends meet, of course, is not to spend any money. So we are very blessed that lots of people open up their houses to us and put us up, and they feed us, and they're wonderful, and they treat us, and they give us wine after the show, and they just But we live in a coffee world, especially here in the United States, and very much so in the Netherlands. And so you get up in the morning and they're like, oh, what would you like to drink with your breakfast? And you're like, oh, well, I would really love a cup of tea. And they would pull out the 10-year-old Lipton because they don't drink tea. So that's what's in the house. So I tour with my own tea.
Oh, that's smart.
Nah, I just stopped because it was just too, I was like, and then you have to drink it because it would be rude not to. Yeah.
So now I know you're never going to ask me for tea because I just.
I'll just ask you for hot water and then maybe some form of cream. So yeah.
She's like, I don't want your 15-year-old tea bags. Thank you.
But interesting story about when I was touring in the Netherlands when I was staying with a very dear friend of mine, Martin van der Voet, who's a musician and a songwriter. And his wife made me a cup of tea one day, and I asked if I could have milk in my tea because that's what I do. And she got very confused, and she looked at me and she was like, you mean like a child? Apparently in the Netherlands, no grown-ups put milk in their tea.
That's so funny.
I was like, I don't know, but I like it. Can I have the milk, please?
I had a similar experience. My husband and I went to England, and we went to an Italian restaurant, and I just wanted spaghetti and meatballs. and I got a similar response.
Like a
That was
child?
exactly what I did, like a child. Yep, extra cheese. Yep. Okay.
Bonus points if it's SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I have a Taylor Swift-ish song. I hadn't intended it to be. I wrote this before Folklore came out. And then I listened to Folklore. I was like, oh, that has a pretty similar vibe. So my question for you on Folklore is I feel like a lot of people who maybe don't listen to folk music are interpreting her latest album as folk music.
It's because
I've had people say
folklore.
that.
It's like,
Yeah. Like that's not quite it. Anyway, that was my only
there's
comment
still
on
way
that.
too much synth on that thing to it be folk music.
Yeah, no, this is not folk at all.
Yeah.
But so my answer, Cecily was saying that You Belong With Me, I think she said is her favorite Taylor Swift song. I love the opening track on Folklore, the production of it. That's just my favorite one. And so this song I'm actually working on in the studio tomorrow, and we're trying to go for that production vibe. It's another one I just don't know how to introduce it, but I wrote it. I was going through an old photo album from high school, and my 10th grade high school boyfriend and I we're friends now, but there were all these pictures of he and I. So that this was like a what if life had turned out differently type of song. And before I haven't put this up. I just want to throw out, tipping the artists is really helpful to us because this is the only way that we have income right now. But liking our Facebook pages is really wonderful too, and it makes us really excited when new people like our pages. So I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay. This is called Alice. I remember when you look at me. Across the room I'd hide behind a magazine. I think you told me that we'd always be. Then you showed me how a man could leave. I remember that you gave it all. I remember feeling like I was falling. What did she have that I didn't get? But what you said I'll never forget. I wanna kiss your love, I wanna give it up. Wanna know what it's like to look into your eyes. I wanna give it up, I wanna kiss your love. Come on, let's be a little less civilized. Drove your Jetta to the harbor. It was a little bit harder to draw a line between a friend and me. And I would think God let this be. I wanna kiss your love, I wanna give it up. Wanna know what it's like to look into your eyes. I wanna give it up, I wanna kiss your love. Come on, let's be a little less civilized. A little less civilized. And I'm a little like Alice, following photographs down a one-way track. I'm a little like Alice, everything's beautiful, but then I go back. Sometimes I go back. I imagine how it used to be. Lady in red and we were dancing back when we could be anything. If they could see us now, would we be laughing? I wanna kiss your love, I wanna give it up. Wanna know what it's like to look into your eyes. I wanna give it up, I wanna kiss your love. Come on, let's be a little less civilized. A
nice. Yeah, I can hear what you're talking about.
Some, electronic-y things.
Electronic-y things.
I should be a producer.
Ooh, send that out to the folk DJs, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my mom likes when I play the piano. Thanks for being here, Mom.
Oh, yay. I like when you play the piano. Mom's
It's
going,
exactly
all those
what-
piano lessons I paid for. She
That's
better
exactly
play
what
that
she
piano.
says.
No.
Well, it was a practical choice because it's heavy, and the guitar is so easy to bring. But I think one gift that 2020 has given me is connecting to my piano again.
Yeah,
So
because you don't have to drag it around anywhere right now.
it's here.
So, yep. The downside is you're going to write songs on it, and then you're going to have to go on the road with those songs.
Do you mean like every new song I've written?
Uh-huh. So somebody dragging a keyboard around on the next tour?
My husband's really wonderful. I love you.
Yeah.
So
I've always been tempted to try to write something on piano, and then I'm like, oh wait, yeah.
Well, that's when I started this instrument. Hold on.
Oh, the piano on suspenders.
My accordion. But the
Yes.
thing is that I haven't quite worked out subtlety. So one of these days.
Maybe you just get a smaller one. It's less loud.
Somebody, Natalie Price last week said to me, why don't you just get a kid's accordion?
Concertina.
Yes. Which is a Tori Amos song. Are you a Tori Amos fan?
I love Tori Amos. I do not know that song, but I do.
Oh,
love
it's
Tori
beautiful. I think it's on To Venus and Back. I digress.
Another
So-
piano player.
Is it?
See, but she just got famous really fast, so somebody else deals with making sure there's a piano everywhere she plays.
I get to record on her piano bench because
Are
my
you gonna sit sideways?
I do. That's what I'm doing right now. My producer is her bass player.
Oh,
So
very cool.
I'm sitting on her actual retired piano bench, and it makes me feel cool.
She's a Baltimore girl.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, I knew that she was Southern, and I knew she had her dad was a pastor.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
she came up in Baltimore.
She's so cool.
So
So we're
a
at
Maryland girl just like me.
we're at the 1 song left time of our
I know.
night. Cecily's wondering. She said she doesn't see other comments, but Cecily, we're seeing your comments.
Yep, we are definitely seeing her, and I see Cindy, who's been there most of the evening. So hi,
And
Cindy.
thank you, Cindy. Yeah, everybody's been so wonderful. Thank you all for joining us
I guess your
tonight.
mother's name is Joyce.
That's my mama.
Hi, Joyce. It's nice to see you there. I can't really say meet you because that.
I
it's-
know.
So yeah, it's.
Encounter?
I look forward to maybe meeting you someday. That would
Yes.
be better. So, so yeah, it's last round. Woo! So I think I wrote this. This is on my last album, and I wrote this song a few years ago. Mostly because I just had to do something with my own levels of frustration. To the one who follows me home, to the one who speaks in that ancient tone, to the one who wishes I would shut up and be safe, to the one who pushes me down, to the one who strikes when I stand my ground, to the one who wishes I would go back whence I came. I spent a long time feeling hungry, trying to prove myself to you. Think it's about time I got angry. I've had enough of you. To the one who lies to my face, to the one who still believes it's a race, to the one who who's working hard to turn back all the clocks. To the one who still can't make room. To the one who sees me as just my wound. To the one who really loves to legislate my box. I spent a long time feeling hungry, trying to prove myself to you. Think it's about time I got angry. I've had enough of you. I've had enough of you. We stand on the sacrifices of Sojourner Truth, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Susan B. Anthony, and all the women who fought and died and suffered before us just so we could have what we have now. Ladies, it is time to stop being polite. I spent a long time feeling hungry, trying to prove myself to you. Think it's about time I got angry. I've had enough. I've had
Karyn Oliver belting a B with room to spare. That was a badass tune. I was dancing. Nobody gets to see me dancing because it's horrible, but I was. Oh, I loved that song. I want to play with you in real life.
Me too. We'll definitely make that happen as soon as we're allowed to make that happen.
I know. I have this big date scheduled for a venue near me. It's been rescheduled now 3 times. In 2022. That's when we rescheduled it for. So wacky.
Well, hey, the good news is everybody should be vaccinated by then.
Yes. And Denise, thank you for Denise tunes in every Monday night. I'm so glad you were here. And Mark Price saw both of us at NERFA. He said thanks for doing this. Well, thank you for watching. That's
very cool.
Yes,
yeah,
Kathy.
And earlier I saw my friend Bob Schmucker say hello. So hi to Bob. I know he's up there somewhere, but I didn't get a chance to say anything when he commented, and then of course it scrolled on up and went away.
I try so hard to be on time with responding to everybody. So just one more time, everybody, if you want to contribute, we would be very happy to accept your contribution. And if that's not in the cards for you, we understand. And you just like our Facebook pages, and there's mine, or go on Spotify and find my virtual world tour playlist. Karyn's going to be on there. I'll add her tomorrow, along with a lot of other great artists. And I always try to remind people, we talk about small businesses, and you're looking at as small as a business can get, really. So remember independent artists when you're thinking about supporting small business.
Absolutely.
So I've been closing with this one the past few weeks, just because I love this song, and I've been feeling really nostalgic for my dad. I think, holidays bring that out. And so I'm going to do Auld Lang Syne, which we would sing that on New Year's Eve, but not the traditional version. And I read a quote. Robert Burns said that this was his finest poem. He was, the man had no ego. And Denise liked your page. Excellent. Thank you, Denise.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And so it's in Gaelic. A lot of it's kind of hard to understand, but Auld Lang Syne just means for old time's sake. And so I kind of Americanized a little bit of the language, and I'm reducing the 7 stanzas to 3. But here's some Old Lang Syne. And I'm doing this now, even though it's not New Year's, because I think, well, for me, I'm missing my dad, but I also think, we've been through a lot as a country and as a world, and it's just important to remember the people that mean a lot to us, regardless of their opinions on things. I just, people is what it's all about for me, so. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for old lang syne. We too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dawn, but seas between us are roaring now, since old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for old lang syne. So here's a hand, my trusty friend, and give us a hand of thine, and we'll take a long draught of goodwill for old lang syne, for old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for old lang syne.
Oh,
He's coming.
his timing
My
was
Monday night
perfect.
cameo.
That was beautiful.
Hi.
Aw.
Play your final song.
Can you say hi,
Wow.
Karyn?
Hi.
Say,
That was very nice of you to wait until Mommy was done to play that one.
Yeah.
Yay.
say, have a good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, you too. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Be back again next Monday, but make sure you check out the Spotify playlist. I'll link it on this broadcast tomorrow. Nah, baby. Have a good night, everybody.